Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers make protective book covers for medical personnel. A Malaysian Tzu Chi volunteer promotes vegetarianism after listening to master's words. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Sri Su. Thank you for joining us. Hospitals in Sabah, Malaysia are in need of personal protection equipment for their medical staff. That's why the volunteers mobilize people to help make protective boot covers.
Tzu Chi volunteers from Kota Kinabalu don protective gowns to make boot covers for medical staff.
Medical people on the front lines very much need these boot covers, so we quickly divide up the fabric to make it. Everyone is very willing to help. Those who were able to contact all came out in support.
As the medical staff on the front lines giving up themselves, it's important for us to do something to support them.
I'm not tired, but even if I was, I would continue because the medical people need these supplies. We need to make the deadlines and make sure the line is straight so germs cannot get in.
Tzu Chi volunteers and other volunteers completed 742 pairs of protective boot covers in just 3 days.
Exactly, it's really helping us out because in this time of crisis, actually we did try to contact few suppliers to get the supply of the PPEs in terms of the isolation gown and stuff like that. But it's really hard to actually to get them. It's really hard to convey my feeling, actually, my gratitude towards Tzu Chi. Thank you again for your help.
With everyone's support, the boot covers for the medical staff is imbued with the love and care of Tzu Chi.
Medical professionals are fighting to save lives while COVID-19 is still spreading, but every hospital is facing the shortage of equipment. So the volunteers in Kuantan, Malaysia have made face shields for these frontline workers.
Face shields are being made non-stop. Kuantan Tzu Chi volunteers are helping medical professionals by making face shields for them.
Hospitals big and small are now facing the mask shortage problem. We are also short of gloves, so we are using whatever we have regularly.
If you are attentive, you will become professional. We are not experts in making face shields, but after making them for a long time, over 10 plus of them, we have become professionals.
Compared to the frontline doctors, what we are doing is nothing.
In addition to taking temperature and wearing protective gear, one volunteer also brings an air purifier.
The present COVID-19 is something we cannot see, even though we are wearing masks. But to bring peace to people's minds, I've brought this air purifier to kill all bacteria and virus.
I have seen that the office is very clean, and the volunteers also follow the government's guideline to keep a safe social distance. I want to thank Tzu Chi for its assistance to Kuantan Central Hospital.
Now we are giving our handmade face shields to the doctor whose clinic was the venue of our free clinic before.
Tzu Chi volunteers will continue to make face shields for hospitals and clinics, hoping that the medical personnel at the front line can treat patients without risking their health.
After the Malaysian government started a nationwide movement restriction order, Tzu Chi volunteers have stopped their group activities. Tzu Chi volunteers who are skillful with sewing in Pontian district in Johor Bahru are making fabric masks at home and giving them to anyone who needs masks.
Pontian Tzu Chi volunteers have stopped their group activities, but the volunteers who have the sewing skill take time to make cloth masks.
There are not enough masks in the market, so we make them for our volunteers. Many people are unable to buy them, so we feel that if we can make reusable ones, many people can have them.
In Johor Bahru, police are checking on cars at intersections. After receiving the permission, the volunteers bring the fabrics donated by a government factory to other volunteers who are in self-isolation.
所以它的布料有长长短短哦，它这么长的，这个是我们剪给老师的。
Even an experienced sewer like her has to relearn the skill in making fabric masks.
I've sewn pants for years, so I'm used to the skills and the size of making pants. But when I began sewing the masks, it took me more than an hour to learn how to sew the mask to size.
There is a limited supply of cloth masks, so they are very precious while COVID-19 is still spreading.
We saw a lot of masks being thrown to the ground, so we can wash these and use them again.
Disposable masks can only be used once, so the amount needed is enormous. Because maybe our own stock of masks are also low, and we only have 2 or 3 disposable masks at home, so we can reuse the fabric masks.
People have to maintain a safe social distance when they meet, but the cloth masks help people close the distance a little.
McHenry County in Illinois has been putting homeless people in emergency shelters. As they've been short on supplies, the government reached out to Tzu Chi for help. Tzu Chi provided some daily necessities as well as blankets for the homeless.
The residents of the state of Illinois have also been ordered to shelter in place since March 20th, and thus the homeless have also been placed in emergency care.
Government is worried about them being outside and being infected, so the government has been very active in placing the homeless people into shelters.
Tzu Chi volunteers of Chicago have received a phone call from emergency management in asking for some assistance.
Our care packages include soap, towels, toothbrush, toothpaste, and a brush. Most importantly, we have also included teachings by Master Zheng Yan and also Jingsa aphorisms to help ease their minds during this time.
The 8 items are given to McHenry County's emergency management. Meanwhile, Tzu Chi's eco-friendly blanket has really impressed the person in charge.
I want recycle each piece of water bottle, make this. Send over the whole world. So
it's crazy that
this is from Pontian Foundation.
That's our
logo.
We're accepting these donations from your organization to hand out to homeless individuals that we are sheltering here in McHenry County during this COVID-19 incident. They're going to be very thankful. We are thankful.
Tzu Chi volunteers from Indonesia assisted the government in epidemic prevention work, donating 6,000 items to the National Army and police. During the current COVID-19 outbreak, epidemic prevention work is hard, but it cannot be overlooked. In total, Tzu Chi volunteers of Medan have sent more than 70,000 supplies, but police stations say they still have a priority need for masks and boots.
We have a total of 25,000 policemen. We all need masks very much because police are directly interacting with the people to protect their safety.
National military units also receive anti-epidemic materials, with 8 military hospitals being given priority.
Thank you, Tzu Chi, for providing 2,000 masks and protective boots. These will first be distributed to military hospitals.
We hope these epidemic prevention materials can go to those at the front line so they won't be infected by the epidemic.
The Kantar Bupati Delhi Serdam municipal government, they received 4,000 masks, 100 epidemic prevention supplies, and 20 pairs of protective boots.
I received from the Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter today medical assistance materials. These will be used by medical staff first because they are the frontline staff for epidemic prevention.
At present, there are 2 confirmed cases in the local area and 3 others under observation, as many worry that the epidemic situation has already begun to spread. In Sri Lanka, Colombo has implemented curfew to prevent the spread of the epidemic. As a result, many Tzu Chi care recipients cannot go to work. Volunteers have obtained the government's permit to deliver daily supplies to the care recipients. These bags of daily necessities, including rice, oil, dry fruits, soaps, and fabric masks, are for 76 care recipients. Colombo in Sri Lanka has implemented curfew, which affected many residents' income. City volunteers have obtained the government's permit to deliver supplies to care recipients. The volunteers also share health knowledge with the care recipients, reminding them to take epidemic prevention measures to protect themselves. In Taiwan, the senior program for Tzu Chi University of Science and Technology continues to host class, but with some modifications to the course, such as teaching them to boost one's immune system.
Listening to the teacher's instructions, the students open up their arms and chest. Moving to the music, the students exercise their leg muscles to deal with the pressures of the new coronavirus. The students from the senior learning class get some exercises to release their stress.
Besides relaxing, we're learning some easy exercises we can do at home, which helps to boost our immune system, as well as giving us an outlet for our emotional health. I hope everyone gets through this epidemic safely.
After the lesson, the students enjoy a meal together as they also begin to adopt a vegetarian diet.
Not only ourselves, but many of the students have brought their family along to help protect the planet for our next generation.
Due to the epidemic, my business has suffered, but I'll hang on until the end because the master continues to promote vegetarianism as a way to save the planet. I hope everyone can adopt a vegetarian diet to protect themselves as well as planet Earth.
Many people go vegetarian to protect life, to protect planet Earth, as well as fight against this pandemic. As citizens of the world, everyone can do their part to help.
In today's series on Children's Day, we continue with grandparents raising grandchildren. This child, Wu Wanrong, is only in the 5th grade and is responsible enough to take care of her little sister, who's 3. When she's off on school, she's not out playing, but instead at home helping the family to earn some money.
She is well behaved. Whatever we do, she will follow.
哪一个步骤最难？
拉筋。
要怎么样拉筋？
用那张纸，你手会刮伤吧？没有戴手套，然后再翻那个儿科的时候就刮到了。
One stream is $1 NT. If we have 2 or 3 bundles of it, we have enough for breakfast.
Wanrong has been left in the care of her grandparents since young by her parents. Thus, the young 5th grader has learned to be a good helper to her grandparents. After school, Wanrong helps to take care of her 3-year-old sister, who is always glued to her side.
还是你去帮他换一双鞋才好吗？好，走。
我帮他泡牛奶跟洗澡。
他喜欢什么东西？
他喜欢穿洋装，
很漂亮的洋装。
When her sister throws a tantrum, Wanrong doesn't get upset.
She's a good girl. She knows her dad's health isn't good and can't make a lot of money, so she studies hard in school and doesn't ask to buy anything for herself.
For as long as she can remember, her responsibility is to help out her family.
When I am practicing material arts, it's tiring, but when I complete and place top 3, it gives me a sense of accomplishment.
In her teacher's eyes, Wanrong is a mature, responsible child who gets good grades and has excellent character.
She's a responsible child. Her grades and character don't need to be mentioned. She's often the number 1 in our class.
家庭教师的儿子比较重要，因为他跟波特小姐的关系。
Raising the child's confidence level is crucial. When a student has confidence, he will invest in his studies. It becomes a motivation.
Her family background has pushed her to grow up quicker, more mature, but perhaps this is a boost, a positive in her life.
For an 11-year-old, it's perhaps too early to take on the responsibility of life like this. However, these experiences will shape and mold her to have a stronger spiritual strength in the future.
Malaysian city volunteer Ling Shui participated in the 2017 Jingsi Life Camp. After interacting with Master Zheng Yan, he decided to become vegetarian.
At that time when I met Master Zheng Yan in March 2017, some 3 months later, I became vegetarian. I made a vow to the master and thought she would say good and encourage me. But she turned her attention to Ngong Yohua, whose child was to get married, and asked if their wedding meal can be vegetarian.
In addition to the dialogue between the master and disciples, Ngong Yohua's wisdom on organizing his son's wedding banquet is another key factor affecting Lim Shui to go meatless.
I told him this time we want to do a joyful event and we don't want to do a funeral or hurt any animals. Because we have 100 tables, there would be 1,000 people coming and this would hurt many animals. I just talked to my child like this. He thought about it for a while and eventually agreed.
It takes determination to do the right thing. Master Zheng Yan's words were like a good tonic convincing Lim Shui to become vegetarian and also promote it to the outside world.
Our company hosts a birthday celebration every 3 months for our birthdays, also serving vegetarian food.
With his company's promotion of vegetarian food and Lim's personal efforts, his second daughter also joined him.
My dad kept telling me he wants to open a vegetarian restaurant. Why did he want to open a vegetarian restaurant? He said he didn't need to make money. He just wanted to influence more people to be vegetarian.
Her father's influence led Shirley Lim to personally learn how to develop such meatless meals.
I think that as long as one eats a vegetarian meal, they will reduce the consumption of meat. So even if you are not a vegetarian, you can still come to this vegetarian restaurant. There must be non-vegetarians eating here, and because they came in and ate that meal, they reduced the consumption of meat by 1 meal.
Promoting vegetarian food to let more people understand the benefits of such a diet is Lim Shui's greatest hope, as he wants more people to respond to this important cause.
Taking care of the health of medical personnel, Changsha City volunteers started to provide them with the complimentary lunch boxes from early March.
In order to make lunch boxes for medical personnel, Changsha Tzu Chi volunteers gathered at a vegetarian restaurant early in the morning. Some volunteers were busy preparing ingredients, while others were counting the number of meal boxes need to be prepared. The dishes every day are decided by the chef's team and volunteers diligently. Apart from taking into account the nutritional value, it is also important to make sure it fully fills medical personnel's stomach. So different grains are added to the rice every day.
I have taken my leave to come here because they need a car, so I drove the car of my husband's here. Anyway, there is a chance for me to come out, so here I am.
This meal is for a male, so we gave him 1.5 bowl of rice. It is half more bowl than ordinary portion, so we need to press the rice tightly or else it cannot be covered fully.
After sorting out the number of meal boxes ordered by different hospitals, volunteers distributed them immediately. Tzu Chi has provided free meals for several weeks already, and many medical personnel fell in love with the meatless diet.
Using camellia oil to fry tofu is good for our body, and that mushroom soup smells delicious.
When the outbreak is over, I must introduce the vegetarian restaurant to him. He said he will definitely go there to eat.
To fight the epidemic, medical personnel have to stand at front line. Volunteers take care of their meals, allowing this power of love to safeguard everybody's health.
To promote vegetarianism, Beijing Tzu Chi volunteers made Monday a vegetarian day. They make 99 vegetarian lunchboxes to deliver to the medical teams at major hospitals for COVID-19 patients.
On Vegetarian Monday, Beijing Tzu Chi volunteers went to a vegetarian restaurant in the early morning to make lunch boxes. The kitchen was filled with wonderful smells.
There's green peas, corn, mushrooms, and carrots. We will fry them and balance the nutrients.
On top of promoting vegetarianism, these meals are for medical staff at the major hospitals at the heart of the COVID-19 epidemic. Local vendors have all supported the act upon hearing the news.
She told me to take the items first, and she will send me more if it's suitable and I can pay later. She said we believe society is full of kind-hearted people. I was especially touched when the young girl said this to me.
The lunch boxes were packed specially with heart-shaped stickers to show gratitude.
Hopefully everyone can adopt a vegetarian diet and love others during the epidemic. We should love animals as well as all human beings.
We have a rice and sweet potatoes with 2 dishes and 1 vegetable. We also got Jingzi cookies and a soap.
The trip from the restaurant to the hospital took 30 minutes. Volunteers purposely chose dishes that won't easily lose their taste in hopes that the medical staff can feel the love and joy when they open the lunch boxes.
During the epidemic prevention period, the recycling station in Kaohsiung is still full of recyclables every day. Putting on masks, recycling volunteers still give of themselves diligently. To show gratefulness to them, city volunteers send in supplies to enhance their immunity.
During the epidemic prevention period, recycling station was still full every day. Recycling volunteers were not absent. They put on a mask and gave of themselves diligently. Their selflessness had got Chi-Chi's volunteers' care. A jar of turmeric powder was given to recycling volunteers to eat so as to enhance their immune system. Epidemic prevention supplies were also sent to Kaohsiung City, Qishan, and other districts in the area. There were also disinfection alcohol and soap, which were all antiviral necessities. Volunteers gave them to recycling volunteers in person with care.
This time we'll bring master's care through turmeric powder, mask covers, and disinfecting alcohol to the hands of each recycling volunteer.
Kaohsiung's honorary board members' humanistic promotion team sent caring supplies to the recycling station. This jar of turmeric powder in the supplies is good for health and is most loved by volunteers.
Put some in when you cook noodles, cauliflowers, and other kinds of vegetables. It is easily absorb excess oil. It's really good.
Even wearing masks, volunteers couldn't help sharing use for the turmeric powder. The boost in immunity did not only come from fruit, but also from exercising their body while doing recycling, allowing their body to be kept at the best health condition.
In Tainan, DaAi Elementary School has set up Jingzi Reading Room on campus. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.